So in our previous video, we discussed upon how a person can actually start trying to make a distance between themselves and their mind. So this is the area that we discussed a bit on, in which we discussed on delaying. When we delay at the very point of time when our mind wants to do something, to consume something, to indulge in something, if we just delay it by 15 minutes, and in these 15 minutes, if we listen to the revered Gurujan, if we listen to something in regards to Gita ji, Bhagavatam, Sivakvani ji, Chaturasi ji, if we indulge in activities which are religious, if we just delay this by 15 minutes by chanting, doing concentration on the form of the Lord, actually being in front of the Lord and watching their face, their feet, and then chanting their names, if we just delay it by 15 minutes, any habit or indulgence that we wish to break and the distance that we wish to create can actually be established. Now, when it comes to the body, it's very difficult to explain, but every person will someday or the other get sick in some sense or the other, in some organ or the other. And we do suffer, and we do have some insight into what and how suffering is. But it always kind of goes away because our sufferings come and they are comparatively simple. They go away in like 5 to 7 days, or if we get fractured or something like that, even that heals quickly, and we somehow or the other get out of it in 30 to 90 days or something like that. I'm not particularly right in terms of the days required, but it depends injury to injury. But when it comes to something which is chronic, which is complicated, consider a scenario, an illness which a person has, which kind of has no solution, or it has a solution but it would require a very difficult surgery which might lead to recovery or death. Or just understand, because I am talking as a psychologist, if you consider problems which come under psychiatry, it is very difficult to get out of them because the cause is not very clear. It cannot be understood easily. For simple problems, general life issues, that's okay. But understand that since there is karma there, and this karma would be burnt in some form or the other, and it will be extinguished, sufferings take one form or the other. So I see people, a person suffers from something in their heart. I always draw the heart on the right side. I don't know why I do that. So then once the heartache goes away, headache starts. When headache goes away, the eyes start to become dry. When the eyes are fine, backache starts. Issues change. Issues keep changing. People can work on the symptom one after the other, but the whole point is that this root needs to be thought upon, because in holistic approach, when we'll see that okay, ultimately any problem that is arriving, the root of it is that my prarabdha, my karma is getting extinguished. It's my past lives negative karma that is being acted upon through this suffering or another. When this understanding arises, but the thought process never goes into these things as much because we kind of actually find solutions very easily. And one of the reasons I think that mental health issues are on the rise and will keep increasing in a sense is that the Lord needs to find a way. It's our own karma that needs to find a way that we suffer. But since it's very easy to take a pill, a medicine, and get rid of our pain or solve the problems which were very complex medical problems at a point of time, but now one medicine taken once or twice a day and we are very much away from that back pain. Or there are so many methods of physiotherapy which help relieve pain, and yoga itself, many things are available which help. My point here is that you have to understand that since these things are available and solutions are accessible, it does not mean that this suffering will not find its way. It always finds its way. So now this suffering is finding its way through mental health issues more often than not, because we are all finding it difficult in some way or the other. We get stuck, we get in a conflict, but this state comes. Medicines, as Premanand Maharaj very clearly states, even medicines and solutions work upon us when we have some positive karma in our place. No medicine or assistance will help if there is negative that is needed to be cut, which is a part of our prarabdha. This understanding to arise actually needs something difficult in this form to come and arise in our life. What am I trying to establish here? I am trying to establish that with time and with age, this body will get ill. You can see around you someone or the other is suffering with something which is very difficult to explain, understand, and even medical professionals are sometimes having nothing in their hands to solve something. So it's not that solutions are not available. You might find a solution, that solution will totally heal that specific problem. My whole point is that once that solution is arrived, it does not mean that this suffering will not find its form. It will. So, what we are supposed to do about this is we are supposed to create some distance from this body also. Are we supposed to create a distance from this body, or are we this body? This body is going to become ill. This body is going to suffer. It is suffering. It is going to go close to death. What are we supposed to do about it? Are we supposed to spend our life just like we are doing it? Is it supposed to be just like this, that the patterns of life that we are after, the things that we are after, are we going to change our patterns? Are we going to change our habits? Are we going to act on something new? Do we see this? Do we see this as a problem? Do we have a goal in our mind that, okay, before dying, I need to realize myself beyond the body and mind? If not, then our life purpose to be surrendered and situated at their lotus feet, our life goal to understand ourselves as a soul surrendered unto God, will not be fulfilled, and we'll have to come back, because whatever it is that we'll be attached to, at the point of when death will come is that which we will become. So the practice needs to happen right now, because what we do today is what we will remember at the point of death. So how are we supposed to live our life? Are we supposed to understand this, that we are not the body? Are we supposed to work on doing something which helps us understand that we are not the body? What activities does Premanand Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada ji, Hitambarish ji, Sri Kripalu ji Maharaj guide on realizing that what are the practices that different Gurujan are providing? So Nam Jap, Roop Dhyan, remembrance of God, doing Vani part, different activities are prescribed. You can choose, you can actually explore. You are supposed to work on this. We are supposed to give time to this. We are not giving time to these things. And when we realize this suffering that comes to this body, and when it comes, then it becomes very difficult, because we are attached to this body and this body is suffering. So right now is the time to work upon it. I heard someone speaking, very revered person. They said that death can happen at any moment, and Suran to Vrindavan, they said. And it really hit me in the sense that we are supposed to establish ourselves, because death can happen at any moment. Death happens to a baby in the womb. Death happens just while driving. Death happens in so many ways, and it can happen at any moment of time. Are we prepared for it? Are we doing something for it? Are we following the Shastra? Are we reading the Gita Ji? Are we listening to Bhagavatam? Are we surrendered unto a Guru? And are we doing some practice to realize ourselves in our true nature? Are we associating with devotees? Are we going to mandir? Are we going or visiting the dham? Are we listening to the revered Gurujan? Are we doing parikrama? Are we doing something to actually move towards this journey for which we came here?